It was a Friday night, and the house was quiet, too quiet. Lisa had gone out with her friends, or at least, that's what she told me. I had stopped believing her stories weeks ago. Something had shifted in our marriage, something subtle at first, late-night showers, a password change on her phone, the way she turned away from me in bed just a little too often. But tonight, I wasn't letting it slide. I was done playing the fool. I wandered into the bedroom, my eyes scanning the room for anything that felt off. And then I saw it, Lisa's purse sitting on a nightstand, half-zipped, a black case peeking out just enough to make my stomach twist. Lisa only had one phone. At least, that's what I thought. I reached in and pulled it out, my fingers trembling slightly. It was a second phone, a burner. The screen lit up just as I touched it, and a message appeared from an unknown contact labeled only as D. I miss you, baby. Same time next week. I felt the floor shift beneath me. My heartbeat slammed in my chest, my breath coming short and uneven. My wife. My Lisa. She was fucking cheating on me. My fingers hovered over the phone, torn between smashing it against the wall and unlocking it. Rage threatened to take control, but I forced myself to breathe. Breaking it wouldn't solve anything. I needed answers. I needed proof. I glanced at the screen again. It wasn't locked. A small smirk formed on my lips. She was careless, too comfortable, too confident that she wouldn't be caught. I swiped up, opening the messages. D, I can still taste you from last night. I don't know how much longer I can wait. The text was from yesterday. Yesterday. The same night, she had come home late, claiming she had car trouble. My stomach churned with disgust as I scrolled through months of messages. Words that had once been reserved for me. Baby, love, can't wait to feel you. Were now tainted by another man's presence. I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to stay calm. Bursting into rage wouldn't help me. I needed a plan. Instead of confronting Lisa immediately, I did something even better. I decided to play along. A wicked idea formed in my mind as I sat down on the edge of the bed, gripping the phone tightly. If Lisa was texting her lover, that meant she wasn't with him right now. That meant I had time. I opened the settings and carefully set up message forwarding to my own phone. Now, every text she received from this bastard would also come to me. Then, I went one step further. I switched D's contact name to my own phone number. And then, I replaced my contact name with D. From now on, whenever Lisa thought she was texting him, she'd actually be texting me. I let out a slow breath, my heart still hammering. Game on, baby. I stared at Lisa's phone, my pulse steadying as the plan took shape in my mind. My fingers worked quickly, the smooth screen lighting up my face in the dim bedroom. I carefully changed the contact names, switching D's number with mine and renaming my contact as D. Now, every time Lisa thought she was texting her lover, she'd be sending those words straight to me. The weight of the betrayal settled into my bones. Lisa wasn't just having some meaningless fling. This had been going on for months. The messages were intimate, filled with passion and longing. D, I dreamed of you again last night. I woke up so fucking hard, thinking about the way you moan my name. Lisa, I miss you so much. Mark has no idea. I love sneaking around. It makes it so much hotter. D, he's a fool, baby. He doesn't deserve you. Lisa, I know. I wish I could be with you all the time. I gritted my teeth, my grip tightening around the phone. My own wife, wishing she could be with another man. I forced myself to breathe. I couldn't let my rage control me. Not yet. This had to be calculated. If I played this right, Lisa wouldn't even know what hit her. I kept scrolling, my eyes skimming over the filth. Late-night hookups, hotel meetups, stolen moments when she should have been with me. The text grew bolder, dirtier. My stomach twisted as I came across a photo, a selfie of Lisa in black lace lingerie, lying on our bed, biting her lips seductively. She sent it to him. She fucking sent it to him. My jaw clenched, so hard ached. I swallowed the lump of rage rising in my throat and forced myself to stay in control. I had the power now. I had all the evidence I needed. I turned my attention back to the screen and typed out my first message, keeping my tone exactly like the ones D had sent before. Me. As D, I miss you too, baby. Can't stop thinking about last night. Let's do it again soon. A few seconds later, the little dots appeared. Lisa was responding. Lisa, yes. I was worried you'd be too busy for me. When can we see each other again? I smirked. She had no idea she was walking straight into my trap. Me, SD, how about this weekend? Same hotel. Same time. Lisa took the bait instantly. Lisa, yes. I can't wait. Face-blowing kiss. Perfect. I had her exactly where I wanted her. Next, I set up message forwarding to my own number. Now, I get real-time updates on every dirty little thing she said. I backed up the phone's data to my personal cloud, ensuring I had everything saved just in case. Then, I turned off the screen and slid the phone back in her purse, exactly where I found it. Lisa would never suspect a thing. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, my mind running through the possibilities. This wasn't just about catching her. I could have confronted her tonight, screamed at her, demanded answers. But no, that was too easy. Lisa thought she was in control. She thought she had me wrapped around her finger while she spread her legs for someone else. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of knowing she'd hurt me. I was going to hurt her back. Not with fists, not with shouting, with something far more painful. The slow, agonizing realization that everything she thought she had was gone. I lay back on the bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind spinning. Lisa was out right now, probably having drinks with her friends, or maybe even him. I smiled to myself. She had no idea that the game had just changed, and I was about to destroy her world. The next morning, Lisa woke up in our bed like nothing had changed. She stretched, her body brushing against mine as she let out a content sigh. "Morning, babe," she murmured, her voice still heavy with sleep. I turned to face her, my expression unreadable. "Morning." She gave me a soft smile, but there was something behind her eyes, guilt. It was subtle, but it was there. She knew she was doing something wrong, but she thought she was getting away with it. Not for long. I played my part perfectly, acting like the clueless husband, giving her a gentle kiss before rolling out of bed. Lisa got up a few minutes later, humming to herself as she checked her phone. I pretended not to notice as she smiled at the screen. A message from D. A message that I had sent. I walked into the kitchen, pouring myself a cup of coffee, and checked my phone under the table. "Lisa, I can't stop thinking about you. I was so wet last night, just thinking about what you did to me." I took a slow sip of my coffee, hiding my smirk. She was digging herself in deeper. "Me, SD, tell me, baby. What exactly were you thinking about?" I glanced up to see Lisa blushing, biting her lip as she typed. "Lisa, everything. The way you kissed me. The way you grabbed my hair. The way you—" She sent details. Things I couldn't even bring myself to read. Filthy, explicit things she had never said to me. I felt the familiar pang of rage rise in my chest, but I swallowed it down. I couldn't afford to lose control now. Instead, I played along. "Me, SD, damn, baby. You're making me hard just reading that. I need you again. This weekend." Lisa's fingers flew across her phone, her excitement obvious. "Lisa, yes. I'll think of an excuse for Mark. God, I wish I could be with you all the time." I put my phone down before I crushed in my fist. She wished she could be with him all the time. I took a deep breath. This is what you wanted, Mark. Let her keep talking. Let her dig her own grave. Lisa looked up at me from across the kitchen, her expression perfectly innocent, like she wasn't texting another man about how badly she wanted to fuck him again. "Anything fun planned today?" she asked, sipping her coffee. I forced a smile. "Just work stuff." "Oh, the girls and I are going shopping," she said casually, as if she hadn't just promised to lie to me to meet her lover. "That sounds nice," I said, keeping my tone light. "You deserve to treat yourself." Lisa beamed, kissing me on the cheek. "I knew you'd understand." Oh, I understood perfectly. As Lisa left the house, thinking she was playing me for a fool, I grabbed my phone and scrolled through her messages. I needed more evidence, more proof, and most importantly, I needed to make her think she was winning. So I took it one step further. I started setting up fake future plans between Lisa and D. "Me, as D, I don't just want one night, baby. I want a whole weekend with you. Just us. No hiding." Lisa responded in seconds. "Lisa, God, that sounds perfect. But Mark would never go for it." I smiled. "Me, as D, you're smart. You'll figure something out. I just want to wake up next to you, make love to you all morning, and fuck you every night." Lisa's response was instant. Lisa, fuck D, I need that. I'll find a way. I swear. I had her. This wasn't just cheating anymore. Lisa was willing to deceive me on a whole new level. She was willing to plan an entire romantic getaway behind my back. And when she did, I'd be waiting. I put my phone down, exhaling slowly. Lisa thought she was winning. She had no idea she was walking straight into a trap. Lisa thought she was in control. She thought she was sneaking around, lying to my face, spinning her web of deception while I remained oblivious. But she didn't realize I was 10 steps ahead. She had taken a bait, hard. Every time she thought she was texting D, she was texting me. Every time she thought she was making secret plans, she was actually giving me everything I needed to destroy her. And now, it was time to start setting her up. The first step was confirming her lies in real time. Lisa had been texting D about how she would find an excuse for a weekend getaway. I needed to know what that excuse would be, so I played along. Me, as D baby, I don't want you stressed about this. Just telling you have a girls' trip or a work retreat. Something simple. I watched her from across the dinner table as she read the message, her lips curling into a small smirk as she typed. Lisa, that's perfect. He'll never question it. I'll say the girls planned a last-minute spa weekend. I nearly laughed. How easily the lies rolled off her tongue. How casually she tossed aside our vows, our life me. But I just took another bite of my food, acting like everything was normal. Let her think she's getting away with it. The next step was tracking her every move. Through our phone plan, I accessed her location services and enabled tracking on her burner phone. Every time she met up with him, I'd know exactly where. But I needed more than just locations. I needed visual proof. And that's when I got my golden opportunity. Lisa had been extra affectionate that week, probably out of guilt. She kissed me more, made my favorite meals, even asked if I wanted to have sex. I declined, not because I didn't want her, but because she didn't deserve me. The night before she was set to leave for her spa trip, I casually mentioned I'd be working late. Her eyes lit up for just a second, but I caught it. That little flicker of relief, knowing she had the perfect window to meet up with D. Perfect. I left the house at 7 p.m., pretending to head to the office. But instead, I drove 3 blocks down, parked in a dark alley, and waited. At 7:45 p.m., she left the house, dressed in that short black dress, the one she hadn't worn for me in over a year. I followed her, my pulse steady, my mind razor sharp. I wasn't just a husband anymore. I was a hunter. She drove straight to the Belmont Hotel, a discreet, upscale place just outside the city. I pulled into a side street, watching as she walked through the entrance, her hips swaying, her head held high. She wasn't just cheating. She was confident about it. I snapped photos of her entering the hotel. Then I waited. 30 minutes later, he arrived. A tall, broad-shouldered guy in his 40s, dressed in business casual. Just enough class to look respectable, but sleazy enough to be fucking another man's wife. I snapped more photos as he strolled inside. And then, for good measure, I followed him in. The lobby was dimly lit, all soft jazz and rich mahogany. I kept my cap low, my phone hidden in my palm as I watched the front desk. Reservation for Daniel, the guy said smoothly. Of course. Ah, Mr. Daniels, the receptionist said with a knowing smile. Room 614. Your guest has already arrived. Lisa was already upstairs. A fresh wave of disgust washed over me, but I kept my composure. I waited until the elevator doors shut behind him, then approached the desk myself. Excuse me, I said, flashing my most polite smile. I think my wife just checked in. Lisa Roberts. The receptionist hesitated. Sir, we can't. I slid a $100 bill across the counter. I just need to confirm she's here. She hesitated only a second before nodding. Yes, sir. She arrived about 30 minutes ago. I smiled, pocketing my phone. I had everything I needed. I turned and walked out, already planning my next move. Lisa thought she was in control. Lisa thought she was winning. But she didn't realize I was about to take everything from her. Lisa thought she was playing me. She thought she was getting away with her affair, sneaking around behind my back like a teenager breaking curfew. But she had no idea I was watching her every move, pulling the strings, leading her deeper into my trap. And tonight? Tonight was the night I confirmed just how deep the betrayal went. Because as I sat in my car outside the Belmont Hotel, watching the warm glow of room 614 through my binoculars, I wasn't just thinking about Lisa's affair anymore. I was thinking about what I had just found on her phone. After snapping my photos of Lisa and her mystery man, I had returned home and gone straight to work. I unlocked her burner phone again. She had left it in her purse like an idiot, still thinking I was clueless. I scrolled through the messages between her and Dee, already knowing they would be filled with the usual filth. But then I noticed a different conversation thread, one with a contact labeled lawyer. My stomach tightened as I opened it, and what I read made my blood turn to ice. Lisa, I want to go forward with the divorce ASAP. I just need to make sure I get everything. Lawyer, understood. Since your name is on the house and joint accounts, you should be entitled to half, if not more. We can push for primary custody, which would increase spousal support. Lisa, that's what I want. I don't want to work again. Mark can afford it. He'll just have to accept it. I stared at the screen, my breathing slow and controlled. This wasn't just about cheating anymore. Lisa had been planning to leave me. Not just leave, but take everything. The house, the money, even the kids. She was gutting me like a fish behind my back. And worst of all, she had been coordinating it with her fucking affair partner. Lisa, once I leave Mark, we can finally be together. No more sneaking around. I'll be free, and I'll have enough money to make sure I never have to stress about working again. Dee, that's what I want too, baby. I'll take care of you. I nearly crushed the phone in my hand. She wasn't just betraying me physically. She was betraying our entire life. Everything we had built. Our home, our family, our future was nothing but a goddamn scheme to her. But she had made one crucial mistake. She thought she was going to ruin me. She thought she was going to bleed me dry and ride off into the sunset with her lover. But I wasn't just going to catch her in her affair. I was going to obliterate her entire plan. The next morning, Lisa was in a fantastic mood. She hummed to herself while she made coffee, smiling at me like she hadn't spent the night getting railed by another man and plotting to steal my entire life. I watched her carefully, my expression unreadable. She had no clue that I knew everything. Sleep well? I asked, casually sipping my coffee. Lisa nodded, her cheeks slightly flushed. Yeah, I slept great. How about you? I smiled back. Best sleep I've had in weeks. Her eyes flickered with amusement, like she was laughing at me, the way she had probably laughed with him last night. Oh, you won't be laughing much longer, Lisa. Because today was the day I made my first counterattack. I didn't hesitate. The moment Lisa left for her spa weekend, which was really another excuse to see Dee, I got to work. The first step? Locking down my assets. I met with my lawyer before she ever had the chance to file for divorce. I moved all my money into an account she had no access to. I refinanced the house under my name only, making sure she wouldn't be able to take it from me. I was stripping her of everything before she even knew what hit her. The second step? Revealing the affair to the one person who could help me ruin her. Lisa thought she was the only one sneaking around. She thought I didn't know who Dee was. But I did. I had his full name, his workplace, even his home address. And more importantly, I knew about his wife. That night, I knocked on the door of a beautiful suburban home, the porch light flickering above me. A woman in her late 30s opened it, petite, brunette, pretty in a quiet kind of way. Yes, she asked, confused. I gave her a polite smile. Are you Mrs. Daniels? She hesitated before nodding. I pulled my phone from my pocket and showed her the messages. The moment her eyes skimmed the texts, her husband's name, the filth he had been sending my wife, the plans they had made together, her entire face changed. From confusion to realization to pure, unfiltered rage. My husband is cheating on me, she whispered, her voice shaking. I nodded. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but I figured you deserved to know. She swallowed, still staring at the messages, her hands trembling. Then she looked up at me, something sharp and dangerous flickering in her eyes. What do you want from me? She asked. I smiled. We're going to ruin them together. Lisa thought she was in control. Lisa thought she was playing me, but she had no idea, because by the time I was done, she wasn't just going to lose her marriage. She was going to lose everything. Lisa had no idea the storm that was coming for her. She thought she was being smart, playing both sides, keeping her little affair a secret while setting herself up to drain me for everything I had. But what she didn't know, I had already burned her escape plan to the ground. Her secret bank account? Frozen. Her divorce plans? Dead before they started. Her lover's wife? Now my ally. And now it was time for the final act. I set the trap carefully. Lisa thought she was coming home to business as usual. Her doting, clueless husband, her perfect little life, and her plans still intact. But instead, she was walking straight into her own execution. I invited everyone over for a special dinner. Lisa's parents, her friends, and, of course, her lover's wife. Mrs. Daniels, let's call her Amelia, was more than willing to play her part. She had just as much rage as I did. Maybe even more. Her cheating bastard of a husband had ruined their life, just like Lisa had tried to ruin mine. So together, we planned something truly unforgettable. Lisa walked into the house that evening, her expression carefree, like she didn't have a single worry in the world. She had no idea that every pair of eyes in the room already knew her dirty little secret. "Oh," she gasped, feigning surprise at the sight of everyone gathered in the dining room. "What's the occasion?" I smiled. "Just a little celebration. Sit down." She hesitated, sensing something was off. But what could she say? She had no reason to be suspicious. Not yet. She sat, and that's when I started the show. I stood at the head of the table and cleared my throat. "I just want to say how grateful I am for all of you being here tonight." I began, my voice smooth. "Especially my wife, Lisa. You know, she's been so busy lately. Work, spa weekends, so many commitments." Lisa froze. I could see the first flicker of fear behind her eyes. "Actually, Lisa," I continued, pulling out my phone, "I thought it would be fun to share some of your recent adventures." I tapped the screen. The TV behind me lit up. And then, the first messages appeared. The room went silent. The big screen displayed Lisa's dirty little texts, one after another. "Lisa, I miss you, baby. I love sneaking around. Mark has no idea. It makes it so much hotter. Lisa, God, I wish I could be with you all the time. Lisa, once I leave Mark, we can finally be together. He'll be the one suffering, not me." Lisa shot up from her chair, her face drained of color. "Mark," she whispered, her voice trembling. "What the fuck is this?" I smiled. "This, sweetheart, is the truth. Something you seem to have a hard time with." Lisa's mother covered her mouth in horror. Her father's fists clenched against the table. And then, to drive the final dagger in, I clicked to the next slide. A photo of Lisa walking into the Belmont Hotel. Another of her lover, Daniels, following right behind her. A final image of them laughing together at the bar, just hours before they went upstairs to fuck. Lisa staggered back, her hands shaking. "Mark, this isn't what it looks like." And that's when Amelia stood up. "You lying, disgusting whore," she hissed. The entire room turned toward her in shock. Lisa's eyes widened in horror as she finally registered who Amelia was. Her lover's wife. Here, in our home, watching her fall apart. And then, Amelia picked up a glass of wine and threw it right in Lisa's face. Lisa screamed, staggering back, completely humiliated. The room erupted. Lisa's mother was crying. Her father was furious. Her friends were whispering to each other, some of them already pulling out their phones. Lisa's entire world collapsed in real time. Lisa tried to run. She bolted toward the door, but I caught her wrist, holding her in place. "Don't you fucking touch me," she shrieked. I leaned in close, my voice calm and deadly. "Don't worry, Lisa. I wouldn't dream of touching you. Not now. Not ever again." I let her go, and she stumbled back, her breath coming in ragged gasps. You planned all of this?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. I tilted my head. "Of course I did. You thought you could destroy me? Take everything? Humiliate me?" I stepped closer, my voice dropping to a whisper. "No, baby. You don't get to win." Lisa let out a choked sob, and then ran out the front door, disappearing into the night. But she wasn't escaping anything, because the next morning, I filed for divorce. And Lisa? Lisa had nothing. No house, no money, no lover, because Daniel's wife took him for everything too. And as for me, I walked away with everything. My house, my finances, my dignity, and best of all, Lisa was left with the one thing she had feared most: regret. Lisa ran out of the house that night, but she wasn't running toward anything. She was running from the wreckage of her life, from the cold, hard truth that everything she thought she controlled was now in flames at her feet. And I didn't even bother watching her leave. I just poured myself a drink, let the murmurs of shock and disgust from the guests wash over me, and let the night settle into my victory. Because Lisa thought she had power. Lisa thought she had a future without me, funded by my money, my house, my life. But now, she had nothing. I woke up to an empty house. The silence was beautiful. Lisa had spent the night God knows where, but it didn't matter. Because today was the real reckoning. First thing in the morning, I filed for divorce. Lisa had been planning to hit me first, to blindside me with legal papers, thinking she'd control the narrative, get the house, get my money, and play the innocent victim. But now, I was the one in control. Since I had already moved my money out of our shared accounts, she had no access to a single penny. And because I had filed first, armed with all the evidence of her affair, her chances of getting anything were slim to none. When I got back from the lawyer's office, I saw the text messages piling up on my phone. Lisa had finally realized what was happening. Lisa, Mark, please, I need to talk to you. Lisa, this is all a huge mistake, I swear. Just let me explain. Lisa, you can't do this to me. I didn't respond. She was already panicking, but I wasn't done yet. Lisa didn't just lose me that night. She lost everything else, too. Her parents, who had once adored her, who had believed she was a perfect wife, were furious. I heard from her mother a few days later. I don't even know who she is anymore, she admitted, her voice heavy with disappointment. We raised her better than this. Her friends, the ones who had been at dinner that night, cut her off immediately. Some of them had suspected something but had never known the full truth. Now that they did, Lisa became a social pariah overnight. And the best part? Here Loa Dom's here. D, aka Daniel's Lisa, we need to talk. Lisa, baby, I need you so bad right now. Mark is ruining my life. D, I can't do this. My wife is divorcing me. I need to focus on my family. Lisa, what? But you said we'd be together. D, Imsuri. It's just not realistic. He ghosted her after that. She had thrown away everything for this man, and the moment things got tough, he dropped her like trash. Karma was a beautiful thing. I didn't see Lisa in person again until a week later. I came home to grab a few last things before officially moving out, and there she was, sitting on the porch looking like absolute hell. Her hair was a mess. Her eyes were swollen. She was still wearing the same clothes from yesterday, like she hadn't slept. The moment she saw me, she jumped up. Mark, she breathed. Please talk to me. I didn't say anything. I just walked right past her toward the door. She grabbed my arm, her fingers digging in desperately. Mark, please, she sobbed. I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking straight. I don't want this. I don't want to lose you. I turned to face her, my expression calm, unreadable. You don't want to lose me? I repeated. She shook her head rapidly, her tears falling freely. No, I don't. I was stupid. I was selfish, but I love you, Mark. I love you. I laughed. It was a cold, humorless sound. Lisa, I said, tilting my head, you don't love me. You love what I gave you. The house. The comfort. The security. That's what you're crying about. No, she choked. I swear. I cut her off. You don't get to lie anymore, I said, my voice suddenly sharp. I saw everything. I read your messages. I watched you plan this. You weren't confused. You weren't lost. You knew exactly what you were doing. Lisa's breath hitched, like she had been slapped. I stepped back, shaking my head. You made your choice, I told her. And now, you get to live with it. Her knees buckled. She collapsed onto the porch, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. But I didn't stay to watch. I just walked inside, grabbed my last box, and left her there on the ground, crying in the ruins of her own making. She had wanted freedom from me. Well, now she had it, and it had never felt so good. Lisa thought she could win. She thought she could cheat, betray me, and still come out on top. But reality? Reality was a brutal teacher. And now, Lisa was about to learn the hardest lesson of her life. The next morning, Lisa woke up to a knock on the door. She was still staying at the house. Our house. But she had no idea she was about to lose it. She opened the door, her eyes still red from crying. And then she saw the envelope. The process server handed it to her with a neutral expression. "You've been served." Lisa's hands shook as she ripped it open. She probably thought she was prepared for what was inside. She had no clue, because while she had been planning to take everything from me, I had made sure she got nothing. The documents laid it all out in black and white. I had already filed first, which meant I had the upper hand. She had committed adultery, and I had all the proof, which meant she wasn't getting a dime. The house? Mine. The money? Mine. Alimony? Not a fucking chance. Lisa thought she was going to be the one walking away rich. Instead, she was getting kicked to the curb with nothing. She collapsed onto the couch, the papers trembling in her grip. Her world was imploding, and she knew it. But it wasn't just me who turned on Lisa. Her friends abandoned her. Her parents were disgusted. Her cheating lover ghosted her completely. It was like watching a house of cards crumble in slow motion. She called her best friend Amanda, probably looking for sympathy. Amanda's response? "Amanda, Lisa, I can't believe you did this to Mark. I don't want to be a part of this. Lose my number." One by one, everyone walked away from her. She was officially alone. Weeks passed. Lisa was desperate. She called me over and over, leaving voicemails that all sounded exactly the same. "Mark, please. I know I messed up, but can't we talk? I miss you. I love you. Just give me one more chance." I never responded. She sent texts too. "Lisa, I don't know how to live without you. Lisa, please. I have nowhere to go. Lisa, I made a mistake, but I can fix it. We can fix it." She didn't get it. There was no we anymore. She had killed at the moment she spread her legs for another man. And then came the moment I had been waiting for. Months later, I ran into Lisa by pure accident. I had just parked my car outside a high-end restaurant downtown, about to take my new girlfriend out for dinner. And that's when I saw her. Lisa, she wasn't in designer clothes anymore. She wasn't radiating confidence. Instead, she was wearing a cheap supermarket uniform, her makeup smudged for what looked like a long, miserable shift. Her eyes landed on me, and then on the woman beside me. She looked at my new girlfriend, a beautiful brunette who actually valued and respected me. And in that moment, Lisa broke. She took a staggered step forward, her face twisted in regret and desperation. "Mark," she whispered, "please, can we talk?" I looked at her, really looked at her. This was Lisa at rock bottom. She had lost everything. And me? I had moved on. I didn't even hesitate. I just gave her a cold, knowing smile and said, "You made your choice. Live with it." And then I turned away, leaving Lisa standing alone in the cold, realizing, too late, that she had destroyed the best thing she ever had. Game over. Lisa thought she was playing a game. Lisa thought she could cheat, betray, and still come out ahead. But cheaters? They never win. Because while Lisa ended up with nothing, I ended up with everything. A new life, a new love, and most importantly, the satisfaction of knowing that Lisa had to wake up every single morning with the crushing weight of her own mistakes. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.